I have a dream that's big, bold, and beautiful, and I do have the fire in my belly to make it happen, to make it a reality. So if you have two groups of people, and the goal is we want to climb Mount Everest, and you have one group of people that show up with flip-flops, do you think the chances of them reaching those goals, what's that going to be like? And then you have another group all ready, prepped up, and they have all the things in their backpack. And so they have a backpack, they have all the right shoes, they're all geared up to go on that trip, to make that journey. So it's very important to plan. It's very important to be ready. And in order to take the entrepreneurial journey, every CEO needs to have certain traits. Every CEO needs to have certain traits. And I'm going to share with you what those traits are. It's the passion, the discipline, the determination, and willing to make sacrifice. And if any of these are missing, you're not prepared. So there are management issues and there is business issues. So business part is the environment. It's the environment in every stages of life. So every stage has its own challenge. So within those stages, it's very important for you to know where we are, where we already know our destination, we know our goal, where we want to go, and how are we going to get there. The management issues are going to be the concerns. If you're not doing those in those certain stages, that is a problem, and that is a concern. Change is a part of our life as we grow up, right from when we were little kids to when we grow old. Change is part of our life. So it is in the entrepreneurial journey. Change is part of us. And there are two kinds of people. One, if you do not want change and you have a hard time accepting change, making that change to happen. So it's either you can be smart and understand that there's a change coming and adapt yourself to that change, or change is going to be forced on you. So either way, change is the reality of life. So let's be smart and let's think about how we are going to make those changes. During the concept stage, having a clear vision is very important. Okay, you need to know what that vision is. Where are you going to go? And what are you going to do? What is your objective? What is your vision? The style, the management style. Most of the time, it's a one-man band. And I was the only one that, in the very beginning when I thought about what am I going to do? And I need to build this company. And let me see from my backpack, what is one item that I'm going to remove today, right now, in this stage, and that is the determination. When I was told in India, when I wanted to run my father's company, I was told that I was a woman, and I didn't have the experience, so it's not possible for me to run a company. And I was determined. So the determination part came from there, that I am going to run a company, and I'm going to make this happen. So during the concept stage, some of those things are important. Money obviously is important. So guess what? Friends, family, and fools. I couldn't find any fools, but my family helped. My husband, he gave me some money and he said, this is play money. And if you lose it, don't worry about it. And that meant a lot to me. So I got some money from him and from my mom, and that's how I started the company. If you're not out and about and you're not connected outside the company, you're not connected to venture capitalists or angel investments, and you're not making those outside connections, that is a concern. You need to be out and about. You're the scouting for the company. You're the leader of the company. During the inception stage, the products and services are very important to know what are you planning, what is your product. And your product can even be service. So there might be, 100 different soaps in the marketplace. How are you different? And then once they buy it, then what's the experience of it? And is it going to make them buy again? Okay, now moving on to the next stage of the company, that is survival. And during the survival mode, there are certain things that you need to be aware of in the objective. The objective is you have to be aware of your cost. The quality conscious, because when you are in the stage of survival, when 10 good things happen, people don't talk about it. But one bad thing, one mistake, and the whole town knows about it. So it's a matter of survival. Reputation is very important. Do not compromise on quality, because that's the time you're trying to prove yourself. You're making a name. Intimacy with customers is very important. And why that is because that's where the trust is being developed. Think about it. If you're a first-time entrepreneur, there's no past performance. So you're building that trust, you're building that. And your customers become your reference. And they talk about it. And that's very powerful. At this stage, you can now go to the banks. And remember, banks always give you money when you don't want it. They never give you money when you want it. But your friends and family gave you money when banks couldn't give you. But now you have the past performance, you have built up something, you're in a survival mode, and you have some back orders or you have some contracts. The bank is then willing to give you money. So bank is definitely a good way to go. If you want to go venture capital at that time when you have a great product, that's fine too. But if you want to grow organically, then bank would be a better option to go. During this stage, if there are certain things that you're not doing is a big concern. And that is that if you are not thinking, or if you're thinking about buying versus leasing, you're going to put your capital into buying, and that's not a good idea. It's better because survival time, cash flow is very important. So you may want to think about, and here is what most of the time people make mistakes. They're in a software technology company, but they want to own a building. And I think, hello, are you in a software technology business or are you in real estate business? So you keep a check and balance on the stage where you are and what is important, okay? Denial of internal feedback. There is a change now within the company. And if you're not accepting that we need to take feedback and we need to make a change and we need to learn and we need to grow to the next level, there is a problem. If you want to do it the same old way that you did when you had just started a company and just formed a company, you have to evolve. So it is a changing experience. Okay, growth. Oh, this is. I thought that when children are born, that's very hard. But when they become toddlers, then you think that that's difficult. But then wait till you become teenagers. That's a different set of problems, and that's when you start losing hair. This is the time when you start losing hair. It's during the growth stage. But it's a painful growth, but it is very rewarding. I mean, it is a very beautiful experience to go through it. The business environment is such that during the growth stages that you're balancing today's needs with tomorrow, and you have a certain responsibility. Now the responsibility is not only the true CEO. It's not only about yourself. It is about your customers, your employees, and the owners of the company. At that time, you may not be the only owner. You may have your angel investors, or you may have your venture capital, you may have additional partners. So you got to think about the owners of the company. So the CEO is really about customer, employees, and the owners of the company, so your stakeholders. Now, during the growth phase is when most of the companies fail. And what happens is that because they're not able to transition that, you want to change from doing things very informally to doing things more formally, more structure. There is more processes. So you're going to see a culture shift within your organization. And the change comes from the leader. Until the leader themselves change and want to do things differently, the employees are not going to be doing it. So you got to lead by example. You got to lead by change. If there's no contingency planning and there's no survival kit, in 2007, before the financial crisis happened, 6 months before, I don't know, it was just coincidental or it was thinking of planning, but my experience really helped me plan. The team got together and said, what happens if our top customers go away? What happens if some external outside environment changes the way business is done? What are we going to do? So we created a disaster plan, a recovery plan, which really helped in the 2007 financial crisis. The first thing what we did is we took down our list of customers who are going to be affected by this. Okay. Second thing is that if the financial crisis happens, we're going to have problems with cash flow. People are going to pay late. So let's go and make sure that we get the money in our checking account from our credit line of credit, and make sure we secure all of that so we can manage our cash flow. So these are certain things which are very important. If you do not do that, you're dead. So so we have to think about these things. Okay, moving on to the next stage of the business life cycle, that's expansion. And expansion is very exciting. Everybody is very upbeat. People are coming, oh, you're doing so well. Here's the money. I can write you a check for this. And money is not a problem after that because you've proven and you got all that. Like I told you, banks will also are after you. We want to lend you money. Well, they lend you when you don't need to, when you don't want it. Entrepreneurs can take a company to a certain level. Then they come to a point where now they need somebody else who is much more experienced if they're interested in growth. If there's a lifestyle company, they want to run it however they want, that's different. But if you have an exit strategy that you want to be acquired or go IPO or whatever, you need to bring in a system now into so you're transitioning from an entrepreneurial environment to a more process corporate environment. And for that, you need different type of skills, you need different type of people, you need different type of a team. And you can take this boat, from here to the Caribbean, maybe. But if you want to go Atlantic, you need a ship. Okay, so you need to prepare your team, and that's where you need the captain. So that is a time when that's a difficult time for an entrepreneur, because now you're giving away your baby to somebody else to nurture it, to take care of it. And then you have your maturity, and during your maturity stage, you need to think about the exit strategy. So for me, I had planned out the exit strategy 2 years ahead. So package the company for sale, and the dating process starts. Like you start thinking about whom do you really want to, give your daughter away to. you kind of matchmaking. So keeping your eyes open, you're kind of thinking about it. So identifying who would be a good buyer for a company is very important ahead of time. Keeping those connections, building the relationships with them without really telling that, hey, I think you're going to buy this company someday. But keeping them up to date is very important. And then a healthy competition is extremely, the best thing is if two companies are fighting for you and saying that we would really like to buy your company. Build a company that is not person dependent, but a process dependent company. So the last year before I sold the company, I went on vacation because that was my litmus test. Can this company run without me? And if it does, then I've done my job. So for 2 weeks, I was on vacation. I didn't get any call, and I kept calling people, hello, do you need me? Is there anything I can do? And my employees, my key management people said, we need a vacation from you. So quit calling us.